Have you ever wondered how to use your 3D printer to make a bedside lamp that is either white or warm white and can work with common PD voltages? Well, today I'll be showing you how to make this 3D printed white lamp that can work with PD 5 volt, 9 volt and 12 volt, and the use is only 8 watts. Let's get started. The 3D printed parts were all printed on the Artillery Sidewinder X2. This print right here, you can see it cracked. It needs to be printed in vase mode, aka spiral outer contour mode. So this is the LED diffuser. This is where the electronics are held in. The LED tower, the lampshade, and where the lampshade and LED tower sits on. Let's get all of these out of the way and talk about the electronics. First things first, you will need a Type C decoy board, a DC to DC step-up converter, and some LED strips that are 12 volt and white. Let's get started. First, we're going to solder the decoy board to the DC to DC step-up converter, and I will tell you why we're doing that. Now, if you're wondering why I have this DC to DC step-up board in line with the PD charger, although the PD charger outputs 12 volts, is because of one small fact. If the decoy board does not get its required 12 volts, it will ask for 9 volts. Anything that is close to 12 volts but lower than 12 volts, including 11 volts if some chargers output that. So if it doesn't get 9 volts, it will ask for 5 volts, which is the default on most chargers now. So what this step-up board does is whatever voltage that is lower than 12 volts comes in, it steps it up. So if it gets 5 volts, it steps it up to 12 volts. Therefore, 9 volts gets steps up to 12 volts, so the LED can use it. Now let's put this theory in action. Alright, let's bring the multimeter into action. The multimeter will be connected by some alligator clips, green and the yellow. Out, and this on the positive. The multimeter will be reading the voltage that is coming out from the DC step-up converter. I will be using this power bank as our 5 volt source, which only puts out 5 volts 2 amps. You can see it only puts out 5 volts. Now let's connect it to the PD charger, the PD decoy board. You can see the power bank turned off a while ago. Turn it back on, and you see it goes up to 11.6 volts, while the power bank only gives out 5 volts. Now let's try this with a 9 volt source. Alright, this is a 9 volts 1.5 amps power supply. So let's try that one. Disconnect this. You can see it immediately goes up to 11.6, and the charger is outputting close to 9 volts. And you may ask what happens to 12 volts. Let's try that also. So this one puts out 12 volts 1.67 amps. Let's bring it in and try it. And you can see 12 volts. Oops, disconnected. There you go. PD is getting its 12 volts and the multimeter is outputting 12 volts. After you have finished testing, it's time to assemble the lamp. Let's begin with adding the LED strip to the LED tower, but first let's do some soldering and get some wires onto these LED strips. let's begin adding the LED strip to the tower. But a little note here, before you do that, please push the wire through here and then start from the bottom and work your way up. When adding the LED strips, peel back the adhesive on the back and slowly glue them on. Now that the LEDs are all on the holder, or the tower I should say, we're going to push the wire through the base of the tower, push the wire through the middle, and right here in the middle circle is where the LED tower is supposed to go, so we're going to add some super glue. There are guiding channels so you don't make any mistakes. Alright, so after you have made the LED tower dry to the base, it's time to add the diffuser that goes between the LEDs and the lampshade to let the lights look a little bit more naturalish, and to diffuse them. Again, there is a section there for guidance. I printed my diffuser a little bit too short, but yours will not be short. I'll edit the file after. That seems about in the middle. My printer bed kind of gave this a rough surface, but that's quite alright. Alright, let's move this aside, put some weight on it and let it dry while we work on the bottom base. As all we'll be doing for the base is just hot gluing the decoy board and the DC step down converter. There's a slot for the decoy board right there, so let's add that. Make sure it fits and goes straight to the Type-C port that was created for it. Alright, that's perfect. Then let's glue down the decoy board. You have a wide amount of space, so you can put these boards anywhere you please. Alright, after the glue has dried, let's go back for the top section and get the LED wires and solder them to the out terminals of the DC step-up board. Alright, let's test to see if everything is working accordingly before we close the lamp up. Alright, let's test. This Type-C is coming from 5 volts from this power bank, and the light comes on and drawing only 7.8 watts, which is good. And we plug it out, plug in this Type-C comes from 12 volts, so plug it in, and it's the same thing. So if it works with 5 volts, it will work with 9 volts. Power bank is off. That frightened me. There we go. So now that 90% of the build is complete, it's time to close the lamp and add the lampshade. You can get back out the super glue, and around the edges we add glue. Then seal it. Let's push the wires one side, then we close it. As I said, mine printed a little short, but yours will be perfectly fine. All the files for these can be found on Thingiverse for free. There we go. It's time to add on the lampshade now. What I want to do now is the edges. We add some more glue. Then we add the lampshade. And let's just add something heavy to the lampshade so the glue adheres. Alright, so after you have let the glue dry, you are now finished. You have now made a 3D printed, would I say fully? Yes, fully 3D printed lamp that works on type C 5 volt, 9 volt or 12 volt. So all you have to do now is to plug it in, look at your invention. There it is. Right, from all sides, the diffuser diffused the light properly and everything. So thanks for watching. I hope you're having a nice day and I'll see you next time.